Welcome to this explainer on efficiency. We're jumping right into how we manage our time today, and we're starting with a scenario that I guarantee you know all too well, a completely frustrating, absolute nightmare at a local bank. Let's get into it. Franz Kafka once said, "It is not necessary to accept everything as true, one must only accept it as necessary." And wow, doesn't that just hit the nail on the head when you're dealing with bureaucracy? The author of our source text recently hit this wall trying to do something super simple: replace a bank card in Taiwan. It should be a breeze, right? Well, he handed over a permanent resident ID that didn't have an expiry date. Since it's a pretty rare document over there, the system just couldn't handle it. The whole process ground to a suspicious, crawling halt. It's exactly that mindless administrative loop Kafka was talking about, where the system doesn't actually care about reality. It just cares about checking its little procedural boxes. And you know, a wasted afternoon at a bank actually really matters. Why? Because it eats into something incredibly finite. 27,375. That's it. That is the average number of days in a human lifespan. Literally just 27,375 days. So here's the million-dollar question. Do we utilize those 27,375 days efficiently? According to the text, for the vast majority of us, the honest answer is a hard no. A lot of our limited time just gets swallowed up by mindless tedium. And here's the kicker. It's usually not because of outside forces like that bank. It's actually because of our own lack of imagination. We fail to define our own purpose, so we just kind of don't know what to do with our time. To snap out of this and actually fulfill our life's mission, the source uses this really powerful metaphor: time is like water. You've basically got two choices here. You can just stand on the shore watching it flow endlessly by, or you can step right in, engage with it, and collect it in a container to refresh and energize yourself. Okay, but what exactly is that container in real life? The receptacle we need to catch our time is a solid daily routine. The author gives us a peek into his private regimen: getting up, making the bed, washing up, writing in a notebook, doing exercises, and saying prayers. It's simple, right? Now, obviously you have to figure out your own version of this, but the core lesson is exactly the same. If you want to build a useful, purposeful life, you absolutely have to actively gather your time into a structured schedule. Now, creating and actually sticking to this personal container, that takes immense self-efficacy. There's a brilliant quote from Winston Churchill: "Continuous effort, not strength or intelligence, is the key to unlocking our potential." So it's not about being the smartest or strongest person in the room. It's that continuous, everyday effort that actually unlocks what you're capable of. Which flows perfectly into Earl Nightingale's famous advice: never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. Time is always moving, the water is always flowing. Since it's going to pass no matter what you do, you have to take absolute control of your unique reality and believe, truly believe, that you are worthy of your life's mission. Don't be a wage slave. Seriously, don't just surrender to a tedious default life. Use your critical thinking, keep an eye out for that everyday magic, and take absolute command of your 27,375 days. So I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. What exactly are you going to do to actively collect your time tomorrow?